All right, here we go. Hello, hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Memberships Masterclass. This is exciting. Got some new branding we're showcasing today.
It's sexy. I mean, that's a good looking. I was thinking about upgrading our entire present there, Chris, with this new branding.
I like it. Maybe a little too sexy for us. I don't know. We'll have to think about it. This is great. So, and I'll tell you today, our promise to you, and because we have a bad tendency of sometimes going over time. But today we're gonna get everybody off the call at 6 o'clock sharp. And that much I can guarantee, because the Astros are playing tonight. And we all want to get out of here and watch the Astros, since we're a Houston-based company.
Yeah, we're Houston-based company.
We're Houston-based. Right? Yeah, I know there's some guys out there in New York on the call right now shaking their fist. If you're in Philly, please leave a comment here so we can kick you out. So just let us know. No Philly fans in the building today, and we got people coming in, so this is great. So, Phil, we want to just give everybody another 30, 60 seconds to jump in before we jump into it.
Cool. We'll get started here in a couple minutes. We'll start with some housekeeping. We'll introduce the panelists here, and then we'll get started, because this is all about our attendees today. So this is going to be a great webinar. Definitely the one I'm looking forward to the most that we've ever done, because we get to sit back and relax and let the experts share really their successes. So this is going to be awesome. I'm super excited.
I already got Joe Frieda in here talking about Go Phillies. Where's the button to
time to boot him, huh?
Where's the boot button here? It's all right. You guys got lucky game one. You got lucky last night. We were going to beat you. That was our night we were supposed to win. Y'all probably going to win tonight. So, truth be told, I bet on the Astros today, so they got no chance of winning. I haven't won a bet in 4 years. Phil will tell you. Hey, there's Margaret. How are you, Margaret? You live with us? There she is.
Technical difficulties.
That's all right. That's okay. You're here now.
Thank you.
So, as people come in, and we have a pretty good chunk of people in here now. I'm Chris Chimenko, joined as always by my co-host and CEO Phil Sitter. And if you're on this call today, it's for one of two reasons. You're already either selling memberships, right? Or you have RepeatMD and you're looking to add memberships and how to get them started. And you're really looking for a way to get the most out of your membership platform and really juice those returns. So luckily we have some of our experts, of our key opinion leaders, of the people that are using RepeatMD at the highest level that have, got started, and they will show you their tips and tricks to success. And we'll get to share some of that. So Philip, let's get into it. Again, I'm Chris Chimenko, Vice President of Sales. I know we've had a chance to meet, a lot of you folks on the call. I had a chance to actually walk you through the RepeatMD platform myself, if you've been on for long enough. And then Philip, our CEO, co-founder, he has been a part of the entrepreneurial space since, as long as I've known him. But I think one of his big, and he'll tell you, and Phil, I'll let you speak for yourself. One of your claims of fame, one of the things you're most proud of in your life is what we've done here at RepeatMD, from winning the most innovative technology award by the Aesthetic Awards. But Phil, let me turn it over to you so you can touch on that and also, do some housekeeping for us.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining tonight. Tonight's going to be action-packed, and we're going to make sure that we leave you with some practical strategies that you can really apply to your practice at the highest level. And we're also really happy with these panelists that they're not going to just give you the theories of how to sell memberships or this is how you could or should do it. They're going to unveil how they've gotten the results they've gotten specifically. And one of the most exciting parts of today's presentations is they all have a unique secret that they're going to share with you. And it's not a personal one, it's a business one. I don't know where we're going to take a unique secret. They have a secret that they've all uniquely applied to their business to sell memberships. And when I was interviewing them, we were decoding their success and how they got here and how their memberships in the past, their memberships today. And these little tips of not only the tips, right? Because we're going to go through tips, but these unique secrets of their success, they all have one. They were mind blowing. They were one of these things that it was like a really aha moment. Just one of them is worth the hour that we're going to be a part of today. but all 4 of them is going to be some of the most extraordinary value that I would think you've ever gotten out on any sort of presentation. So I'm really excited for that specific slide. They're all going to go through that, but we're going to do some housekeeping, right? Kind of the rules of the game, showing you like how to use this sort of Zoom webinar format. I think that sometimes that's often not addressed, so people don't know how to ask Q&As, how to do the polls, etc. So let's get into that real quick. This is how to ask a question. Okay, so we have a Q&A. It's on your toolbar. If you have a question throughout this presentation for a specific KOL or a specific panelist, for me, for Chris, whatever, use the Q&A feature, because we are going to leave some time open for Q&A. Okay, so using your Q&A will be important for you. We want to make sure that your question gets answered, and that can be for a specific person on this call. That can be a general question. We're going to ask some polls to kick this thing off. Again, under the same toolbar, there's polls, right? Have the opportunity to have your voice heard, right? So those are 2 pieces of that. Right before we kick in, let's talk about why memberships matter before we introduce our panelists. So why we're all here today, here are the stats, here's the why. The why for the memberships is incredibly important because you have staff, right, that you're gonna have to motivate to actually sell these memberships. You can't all do it by yourself, right? And the panelists will talk about that, but let's just briefly go over this. 68% of patients want an ongoing membership for aesthetic treatment. So 7 out of 10 patients that walk into your practice, they want memberships. So knowing how to effectively sell them or starting to sell them is critical for your business. 76% of patients consider themselves a lifetime patient after their 3rd visit. Memberships is a great way to get your patients to come in for that all-important 3rd visit, right?
Especially that first-time visitor, right?
Absolutely. 78% of millennials prefer membership model pricing. I'm a millennial. Chris is a millennial, right? He might not look like it. I might look more like a millennial than Chris, but
You look like Gen Z, pal.
I haven't heard you say that one before. That's good. Okay, so 78% of millennials prefer membership pricing. And so when we think about membership pricing, we think about subscriptions. We think about the Netflix. Chris will go into that. That is how a lot of millennials overall, just people now, they do their budgeting. So let's include you into that. This is really cool. The businesses with strong MRR base receive 2 to 3 times greater valuations than those who don't. We're going to discuss a little bit about enterprise value on this webinar and what that means to your practice. And the profitability goal of your memberships is to cover overhead expenses within the first 6 months. So if we're looking at kind of like a North Star target. Within your first 6 months, you should be able to have enough monthly recurring revenue to cover your overhead expenses. And members spend 44% more on average than non-members. That's a super important statistic because as those members walk into your practice, upselling them into your high margin packages and services are critical.
Phil, just to be clear, what is MRR?
So MRR is a membership term, right? It's called monthly recurring revenue. And what that means for you, like put on a bumper sticker, is never starting at 0 again. Okay. So knowing that I have $20,000 a month coming in, or 30 or 40 or $50,000 a month coming in every year, or excuse me, every month for my from my members through monthly recurring revenue, that is the base and the foundation of understanding memberships and scaling your memberships. Okay. So that's why memberships matter. Chris?
Yeah, and look, if memberships didn't matter, then they wouldn't be everywhere. You got to face the facts. Like, we live in a membership society. Like, I imagine everybody on this call has probably more than 5 or 6 memberships, right? So think about all the memberships that, it wasn't always that way 20 years ago, but now you have Netflix. You know what I think is crazy? Like when Netflix first came out, it's like, oh, this is the anti-cable. I can cut cable and it's not paying all that, but now I have like 10 subscriptions. And now I'm paying more than I ever did for cable because I have to have all the different streamers. Anyway, that's my whole other gripe. I won't get into that. But memberships are everywhere, right? Gyms. You're obviously your TV, Amazon Prime, which is a great membership, by the way, Blue Apron for food. Like most of us have a half dozen memberships or more. And that's how we prefer it because memberships come with perks. They come with some bonuses. They come with that consistency. Audible, I get my membership there. I get my book. And so these are mega brands, and they're not doing memberships on accident, right? They're not doing these memberships out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing them because having that consistent monthly recurring revenue is ultimately the key to having a business that's scalable and you can depend on its growth. Like, how nice is it to know that every month before the month begins, you have 40, 50, 60, $70,000 coming into your account? Like, what type of peace of mind does that give you? How are you going to sleep better at night? Because I can tell you, being a business owner, one of the biggest challenges that I faced is having to start every month at zero, because it's a little bit scary, a little bit daunting. And just having that peace of mind that memberships create lets you know that you have a more predictable, dependable business. And, for these mega brands, like, it's about, massive profitability for their shareholders. But for you as an individual practice owner, like, hey, a better night's sleep knowing that, next month is covered before it starts is a great way to start. Yeah. So let's take a look in the aesthetic space, right?
And Chris, the only thing I would add to that is, if there was a time to launch memberships, it is now. Is there a time to launch or scale memberships? That time is now, right? Just all the macro indicators walking into a recession, inflation being the level that's in it. There is no better time, and no time that's more important for you today than to lock in your patients, rather than them going to another provider, right? Yeah, memberships gives you the ability to lock that in. So I would just put that out there.
I'll even touch on that. To Phil's point, let's say we are headed for a recession, right? Which I think a lot of the most prominent economists say. Some of them say we're already in one. What that means is that, like, purchases, like one-off purchases, will become a little bit more inconsistent. So switching into a membership model is going to smooth over some of those tough times. And in fact, I'll tell you, so me and Phil, like, just so you know about our background, we were building these type of programs in the restaurant space, loyalty, rewards, and membership base. And our clients were some of those who actually thrived and did well during the pandemic, because when people had memberships to the restaurants, whether it's like a drink membership and things like that, they were still paying that monthly revenue. And that's how some of our clients were actually keeping the lights on during the pandemic. So, we've seen memberships help businesses of all types, like, survive like tough economic times. And I promise you, like, for everybody on this call, like, they should be able to do the same for you. That's why, like, part of why you invest in RepeatMD is not only just to get the extra lift in your business, but also to, smooth out the leaner times, right? And look, the biggest brands in the space are already doing it. So we know for a fact that aesthetics patients, medical people in this space are looking for memberships, because memberships are industry agnostic. It doesn't matter if it's a gym, or if it's meal plans, or if it's Netflix, or if it's my face or body. Like, people want that consistency, knowing that they get the value that memberships create. And that's why they're already here. And that's why we're excited to talk about it more with you guys today. So awesome. Poll time.
Yep. So we're going to launch our first poll here. Are you selling memberships already? So it gives us a chance to really understand the audience here.
And while the poll's filling out, there's one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning, Phil. I can't believe you let me forget, actually. We're doing a special giveaway. At some point in the presentation, we're giving away a $3,000 Louis Vuitton. Did I say 3,000 Louis Vuitton bags? We're giving away a $3,000 Louis Vuitton bag at some point in today's show. Okay, so don't go anywhere. You never know when it's going to come out, and it wouldn't be a proper RepeatMD webinar if Louis Vuitton was not involved. So let's see what the poll answers are here, Phil.
Yeah, so we're about 50-50, which is great. 50% of the audience is selling memberships, 50% of the audience, 56-44, but 50-50. 50 have not started, 50 have, right? So
they're tired of polls. They've probably been getting hit by pollsters all day on their cell phones. Who are you voting for on Tuesday, right? Everybody get those text messages?
Yeah, not yet. So let's see what we've got. One more question for you. Set the table. Okay, poll for those who do have memberships. Let's see. So Sam, if you can pop this poll up here. For those who do have memberships, how much monthly recurring revenue are you generating? Has that poll popped up? I haven't seen. Okay, here we go. So about 70% are generating between $0 and $5,000.
So we got 18% between 5 and 10, 5% between 10 and 20, and 11%. Nice, 20,000 plus.
Awesome.
10%. Yep.
Cool. So let's talk about today's panelists. So Chris, as you mentioned, we'll give away a Louis Vuitton purse at some point. Charles, if you're out there in the interwebs, bring me a prop. I need a Louis Vuitton purse in my hand to show it off.
Yeah, bring the prop. Bring the prop.
In no specific order, Dr. Kate Holcomb, she's on the call today. Pure Dermatology, right outside of New Orleans, in Metairie.
New Orleans.
I went to LSU, by the way. So, God.
Ooh,
Wait, are you not? Where did you go?
Oh, heck no. No, we're an all Tulane practice.
Oh,
But
Tulane. Okay,
Tulane
all right.
Tulane is usually not good at football, but
Yeah, you're not competitive. I mean, but you're smart for sure. So has generated $38,000 of monthly recurring revenue. That's what she's taking in right now with her memberships, 38K, which is $450,000 in annual recurring revenue. And so in 4 months, she's generated $3.6 million in enterprise value. What is enterprise value? Enterprise value is the multiple addition to her valuation. I got a Louis Vuitton purse coming in here, but Charles doesn't miss. I'll unbox it here in a little bit. Can we see it on the camera? Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I'll unbox it here. But so what is enterprise value? Enterprise value is what increase in the lift of the valuation of her business has she generated in 4 months? So what her core business is as a dermatologist, she can add an additional 3.6 million on the valuation of her practice, roughly, right? Valuations, they go up and down depending on the market, but on average about an additional 3.6. So whatever Dr. Holcomb was worth 4 months ago, she can now add $3.6 million to that sale price, purchase price, or just understand the valuation of her business. That's massive in 4 months, right? Dr. Teresa Camden, she's generated $43,000 of monthly recurring revenue. She's in Glen Allen, Virginia, $500,000 in annual recurring revenue, and in 5 months generated an additional $4.1 million in enterprise value. That's huge, right? Michelle Bauer, right here, Corpus Christi, Texas. She's been live with her memberships in 25 days. She's almost doing $20,000 of monthly recurring revenue, $216,000 of annual recurring revenue, and has generated an additional $1.7 million in just 25 days in enterprise value. Margaret Haley here, My Derma Clinic. Where is Pinecrest, Florida, Margaret?
On mute.
Yeah, we heard you. Where is it?
I'm sorry, I muted myself. I'm sorry.
You're good. All good.
But we're about 15 minutes south of Coral Gables.
Okay. So in 45 days, generated additional 1.5 million enterprise value, doing 11,000 of monthly recurring revenue, 132,000 of annual recurring revenue. Chris?
Yeah. So
setting the table with the panelists, what else do we want to talk about before we hop in?
Yeah. So I'm ready to hop in with the panelists here. I'll tell you this though, like listen in guys, because this is not a sales presentation. This is literally us trying to find like the best in class. And here's the value of these panelists at RepeatMD. This is a tool that you can take and make your own. Like that's what we want. We want to make this your own custom rewards program. So what you're going to find is from each of these panelists, they all have something in it, like Phil said earlier, that makes it unique to them. And this, you're going to get some best in practice pieces here. And hopefully you'll find some ways that you can make it your own as well. So let's hop in with Margaret, because Margaret, she's been with us for a while. We met Margaret through BTL, and when we met Margaret, it's not like she was, down and out by any stretch, because she was the #1 seller of Emsculpt Neo in the country down there in Pinecrest, right? Phil doesn't even know where it is, but they're doing body contouring like nobody's business over there. And that's where we entered into Margaret's story. And she can talk a little bit about how she used RepeatMD as a consultation tool to, educate her patients, and now how she's using memberships to create additional sales. So a little bit about Margaret. She's the owner of My Derma Clinic down in Pinecrest, Florida. She launched her marketplace May 11th. So what's that make it? Like time flies. May is already like 5 months ago. Incredible. Current MRR, $40,267 a month. Annual recurring revenue, $297,000. Like I said, #1 EON laser lipolysis center in the U.S. and the #1 Emsculpt Neo provider in Florida. And Margaret, being #1 in Florida probably has to put you pretty close to #1 nationally. And married, 2 grown children, who have no interest in taking over the business. So yeah, I don't blame them. This is a space you got to really love it. Like everybody that's what we love about aesthetics as well, and just cash-based medicine. Like you're in this because you really love it. Like nobody is in here on accident. right? No one like it's not that type of business. So let's keep moving, Phil. Unless you got something to add here, let's talk about what Margaret has done with her memberships. And with each of these panelists, we're going to show you the membership format that they've created. So take a screenshot, take notes here. Everybody's has something a little bit different. And this will give you some ideas that you might want to use and implement in your memberships, right? Some of these things might make sense for you. So Margaret, like, I think this would be a good idea to kind of invite you and talk about your memberships. And, or Phil, do we want to kind of hold that off to the next slide, or is this a good time to have Margaret come in and talk about her own memberships?
Yeah, so no, absolutely. I want to bring her in. We're not going to go in detail per item, right? But we are going to, the question I'd ask for Margaret here is, how did you find the price point and what treatments to add to your memberships?
A lot of trial and error. We wanted to make sure that the members would have value. There are a couple items that are almost like loss leaders, that they're really, really good, but they're, once or twice a year that you can take advantage of it. We wanted to make sure that people don't forget about us. So many times, like, we'll see clients and we'll say, we'll look them up and we're like, wow, they haven't been in 6 months. It seems like yesterday. And we just want to see them more often. And they also say, like, I can't believe it's been 6 months, 8 months in some cases. And they'll come in, they'll binge on a few things, and then they'll disappear. But we want to have them coming in every 4 to 6 weeks and really taking care of their skin so that, and their body, so that they can look better. And we found that with the membership, when they see that little credit card charge, they're like, yeah, I need to get back in there. And
that's a great point.
Make an appointment and keep coming back in. And they do spend a lot more money than the non-members.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So when somebody purchases a membership at $199 a month and they're coming in with that sort of zero balance, I mean, it's already pre-spent, they're walking in, what does the conversation look like for you in order to upsell them one of the larger packages? How is that conversation going? And you said that you do find that they are spending more. Can you just walk us through that?
Sure. Well, the way that we have it set up, like they've already purchased a body sculpting package in order to get into the body sculpting membership. They can't just come in and do these discounted treatments. They've already, spent a few $1,000s. So what we found is that they want to do their arms, they want to do their butt, they want to do their inner thighs, but just at the list rate, they just can't afford it. So they're coming in and they may have a token for the $199 to do one area this month, but they'll say, yeah, I want to do 2 or 3 or 4, visits this month. And they just pay that $199 directly to us for any subsequent visits. And we also have on the marketplace some other, attractive bundles and packages. And, so we'll talk to them about that. We also let anybody in their immediate household take advantage of this pricing model.
Yeah, and so we'll talk about that
join.
specifically. We'll zero in on that here in a second, Margaret. So my question on here before we go into kind of your tips is, when you were coming up with these and $149, $199, $299, how did you realize what was the price point that sells? And just for yours specifically, what are token treatments?
Well, we have some people who are a little bit younger. Maybe they don't need the injectables or care about the injectables yet. So that's why we have a basic skincare package, because we tried to do our own membership program and we found that they didn't see enough value in it because there weren't enough of the basic things in there. So we have a lot more people joining the basic skincare program because they're saving anywhere from $25 to $75 a month versus doing things a la carte.
Got it.
And so we found that, we were bringing in members that we didn't have before. We had our own membership program before we switched over last month to RepeatMD, and it was a nightmare. So the ability to do it through RepeatMD simplified it dramatically.
And Margaret, would you say that the value, I think you alluded to this earlier, is that the person that was coming in every 6-7 months, now they can get on the Derma Junkie and you see them every month? Just
about. And if they were dropping the membership that we had internally if they went on vacation for a couple months. And now with our membership, an important facet is their tokens don't expire. So if they disappear for 2 or 3 months, then they can add up their tokens and do a premium service.
Right.
Something, like a Moxie or a Silfirm microneedling, skin pen, something like that. instead of one of the basic services.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they can save up their tokens then and kind of
Yes.
use them. So that's interesting. So that kind of takes us into your tips for success. So, I look at number 1 here, and it talks about training and incentivizing the staff, right? So sales tips in the weekly staff meeting, and you do a $50 reward when they sell a membership. So tell me a little bit about how that works, because I'm a big believer that if you want people to talk about what you want them to talk about, pay them.
Right. And so, it's a bit of a hit, but we give like a little welcome bag, like an elastin bag with a little cream in it or something when people sign up. We're very generous upon sign up, but we see the longer term value in the long-term relationship.
Sure.
And the employees love getting the extra $50 commission. They it does work.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, $50 if somebody signs up for membership and they stick around for 12, 24 months, I think that's a small investment for that long-term goal. And then it sounds like, you're really maximizing loss leaders to upsell big ticket items. For some people on this call, can you walk us through what a loss leader is, what that might look like in a practice, and how you can use that to sell big ticket items in memberships?
Right. We don't want to be a discount place.
Right.
Again, these are for people who've already invested a few $1,000s with us. So we're not a Groupon place, we're not a discount place, but even, wealthy clients like to get a little something extra. Everybody likes a little, a little discount here and there. So we, for example, offer 20 units of Botox for $149, which is ridiculous. It's $7.50, but that's only twice a year. And then if they remember, the other units are $10. We normally charge $13 in our area. You can get Botox at any price, but we have legit Botox and diluted properly. And so a lot of the bigger derms in our area are like 15 to 16.
And so that's part of the perks of joining the membership is you get that special pricing twice a year.
Yes.
And it also seems like you can use memberships as a way to discount those items without saying so we can do a discount, but you're not just giving it away for nothing. You're saying, okay, hey, if you want a better price point that maybe the competition will give you, join my membership, and that's how you can get better price points. So you can give a little bit because you're getting a little bit, right?
Yes.
Fantastic.
And it's a longer term relationship, and they do buy fillers, and then they end up doing their platysmal bands and stuff they wouldn't have done at full price. So they are experimenting with Botox in other areas than they typically do. They're buying more units.
Yeah. So the memberships, it sounds like it's opening people up to trying things that maybe they weren't trying necessarily because Absolutely. They say, oh, look at all these other things that I want to get the most out of my membership. And so now they come in a little bit more often, they try more, and now you have a higher lifetime value of that patient, right? And they like it too, yes. I'm sure. Do the patients feel good about it? They tell you they enjoy the memberships?
Oh yeah, and they're looking better, and
they look better. That's all that matters, right? As long as if I look better, I'll pay you anything. So yeah, that's fantastic. So let's get into the what do we still call it, the secret sauce? We call it the secret to my success.
Here. So on the token system, right? So just an explanation real quick on the token system, because that is something that's unique to you, Margaret. Could you just explain the concept of that?
Well, so we tell them it's like budgeting your beauty. If you're spending on the injectables membership $299 a month, 100% of the money is going back into your filler or your laser service. And if you disappear for a couple months, basically it's almost like you're buying a gift certificate with us, and then you apply that towards your treatment. So if they're buying, ordinarily $1,000 syringe of Voluma, they get 10% off, it's $900. And if they have 2 tokens, they use that $600 towards their $900 syringe. They just pay the difference, the $300.
Okay, great. So yes, so Chris, what you were alluding to is each one of them have something really unique about their memberships. When I was interviewing them, that really just stood out as like, wow, that's an aha moment. And as Margaret was talking about, she's been working on launching memberships and, has tried with some successes and then moved over to RepeatMD to really, continue that forward progress and that success. But she said something that was super interesting. And I was like, wow, this is brilliant. And Sam even told me, she's like, man, that's brilliant. And here's what it is. So members get family membership pricing, which creates additional member benefits and creates new referrals. So Chris, do you want to unpack that and have Margaret unpack that here?
Well, yes, if I can read this, somebody throw an and in there and
Yeah,
threw a
sorry about that.
sabotage us.
Yeah.
That's okay. So when I saw this, I thought this was absolutely mind blowing, because one of the things I preach all the time is like on birthday offers, like to do like a birthday, like 50% off for you and a friend to get people in. So Margaret, am I correct in saying that basically you've taken your memberships and you've used it as a tool that now they can use that memberships to recruit your next new patients? How's that been working for you?
It's great. We had two gentlemen who came in. They're in, a gay couple, and I was talking to them on Saturday, and one guy was buying the filler for his partner, and I said, only one of you has to join the membership, and you'll both get the discounted pricing. And he's like, wow, that's fantastic, because now they're not looking at shelling out $2.99 and $2.99 commitment on their phones through RepeatMD, just only one. And 100% of that money is going to go back in filler. I mean, like, they dropped $1,700 in fillers that day alone. And
now you have two patients instead of one.
Yeah. So now they just piggyback off the pricing, and only one person has to, have the app going on their phone.
Yeah. I think everybody on this call would agree that if you could get 3 patients for the price of one, I think we'd all be happy. So if I sign up for a membership and me and Philip come down and see you, he can get my discounts.
Same household.
Yeah, no, it's family. So
same household.
Same
office.
That's not how it works, Chris. Right?
Okay.
It's gotta be family.
You know what? That's a good idea, though. A corporate plan might not be a bad idea. I think you're onto something there.
Same Zoom link.
But what I love about it is I think about it practically. My wife is a member to your practice. I've been talking about something. She brings me in, and for me,
kids.
Right, or the kids, or or the sister, or whatever it is. And for you in your practice, now they're getting a treatment from you, right? Creates an incentive to use you. And number 2 is you have that new referral. And so I think that's brilliant, Margaret. And it's
Mothers, daughters, husband, wives. I can see it.
It's absolutely brilliant. So thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Really, truly.
Thank you.
Awesome. So
thank you, Margaret.
That brings us to
Dr. Teresa Camden. Now, Dr. Camden's one of our favorites, not just because she's absolutely crushing it, because every time we see her at a trade show, we always pin her down and make her say something about us on camera. And she's always willing to oblige. And Dr. Camden's also, whenever a client has a question and they say, well, how do I do this? First thing I do is email Dr. Camden and say, Dr. Camden, hey, can you answer some questions? And she's happy enough to get on and do that with us. So new medical spa in Richmond, Virginia. She launched her marketplace May 11th. As you can see, a lot of these the marketplace launched officially at the end of April. So we're 5 months into this and we're seeing these type of results here. Current MR, $43,000, annual recovering revenue, just under $350,000. Dr. Camden, board family medicine, both family practice and sports medicine. Her bio is all right here, but I like the fact that she's an Ironman finisher, a marathon runner, a black belt like myself. Just kidding. Like I wish I was as a kid. And Dr. Camden is just a great businesswoman. Also, she runs the business with their husband, Chris, who's also a fantastic guy. And Chris is a big part of the success too. And we'll talk about him, I'm sure, in this. But let's go into Dr. Camden's memberships and take a look and see kind of how they're set up. So, Dr. Camden, I have a chance to look at your memberships quite often. I oftentimes will show our clients, your platform just as an idea, when we're talking about workshops. She has a VIP Talks membership here at $20 a month. Let me when I look at that, I think of it as like Amazon Prime for Talks. It's just like, hey, that $20 is coming out of the account every month, and it like reminds me to keep ordering, keep coming back in. What was your thought behind that when you created that? I've always wanted to ask you that, kind of what the theory is behind the VIP Talks membership like that.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. That was very well stated. I like that, considering it like an Amazon Prime membership. This way, she's going to remember to keep coming back for her talks every few months when she doesn't have money to fill up her tank with gas. This way, we have an opportunity to upsell her. Every time she leaves the office, she's getting a 2-month follow-up, whether she likes it or not. Oh, I don't have my calendar built 2 months out. Let's get you on the calendar anyway. It'll be easier to reschedule it than it will be to get you on in whatever month of the year that comes in, because that's our busiest month of the year. This way, she's coming in and she's in front of me every 2 months with that opportunity to upsell. We previously had added to this membership discounts off of our fillers and off of other services. You don't need to do that. We found out we were only giving away fillers for $75 off or 50-something off because of that discount. If she's in for her talks, it's an easy upsell from there. Have her come back more often. This way, you're going to need Luxe talks at your next visit. And let's aim to do your lips when you come back in 2 months from now.
Yeah, no, I love it. So I think that's, and I think my key takeaway there, keeping them coming back more often means more opportunities for upsells. Touch points equals upsells, right? You can't
Yeah, and
sell people that you don't see.
and you know what I love about that is also it's your retention strategy, right? It's really making sure that your patients are committed to you, coming back to you, and they have no other reason to go anywhere else. And all the other upsells become much easier when the patients are continually coming to your practice, right? So it's your retention strategy. Makes a ton of sense. Okay, so Chris, did you want to talk about any of these other pieces or price points?
I mean, that's the one that I always, it stands out because it's a little bit unique, and I love the idea of using that for retention. With these other two, you know, I like, so, you know, we have some clients, and I think we'll get into one where they do like a tiered membership, but I see like with your Forever Sculpt, $365 a month, 6-month commitment. Tell me, well, so with the body sculpt, like this, how did like, as opposed to putting like a drop down list like we saw with with Margaret, why did you say, hey, let's go into this like a specific one? Were you already doing this previously? Have you tried to do this before? How did you come up with the Forever Sculpt?
Yeah, that's a great question. We were previously, even just 6 or 8 months ago, not doing a lot of body treatments. Everyone's coming in from their face. From there, anything on the body is an upsell. Ask every single patient before she leaves the door, hey, last thing before we check out, do you have any loose skin, cellulite, or unwanted fat anywhere on your body?
No, none of us do.
Great. So sorry, I can't help you then. Well, let's think about this once I go over the details of that and then throw in the words. And you know what? Each time you come in, you won't pay anything. Oh, that sounds like such an incredible deal. This is a no-brainer. Get her the 365 membership.
Yeah.
So
that
365 membership, right? So I'm coming in, you know, I'm coming in for Botox, and then you're talking about actually adding another membership to them, which is the 365 Forever Sculpt, leading into a leading question like that. Could you ask that question again? Because that was such a solid script. How do you mention it?
Yeah, and this time I'll say yes. I'll play along so I don't disrupt your flow.
That'd be great.
Grab your phone so you can type it while I say it, or just record this real quick. Do you have any loose skin, cellulite, or unwanted fat anywhere on your body?
Of course I do. Check.
Who doesn't? And so from there, it's an easy sell. Well, let's talk. Do you want to hear about that today? Are you open to hearing about that today?
Sure. What do you do?
Open-minded. If you ask 100 people, yeah, they're all open-minded. Sure, I'm open to hearing about it. Let's talk about it.
So a small commitment is like, hey, you didn't ask them to buy. The commitment is like, hey, are you open to hearing about it? Of course, I'm open to hearing about it. And then the big catch is like, I can treat your challenges, and you're not going to have to spend any money when you come in every time.
There you go.
Let's tell me more. And I can just buy it right through my phone.
And so I understand. So instead of asking for, you know, a few $1,000s, now what you're doing is getting $365 a month for a 6-month commitment, breaking it down to smaller payments.
Yeah. So Phil, which areas are bothering you? Oh, sister, how much time do you have? Let's talk about my belly and my arms and my thighs and my ABCDEFG. Well, you know what, Miss Linda, we're going to attack all of those areas. We can do them all at once, but if you want to not pay anything each time you come in, we can just focus on one at a time and really get this done over the course of the next several months.
Oh, wow. Right. So you're treating at that point, you're just because you have that monthly recurring revenue of that 365. What you're doing is just keeping them ongoing to treat all their areas, starting one area at a time, as long as they're a member.
Most of the time she'll join the 365 and then still decide to pay to upgrade.
Of course. Upgrade and go faster and more faster. Exactly.
Sure.
365 is a soft entry. I love it. So it sounds like, so going in your list of tips for success, right? So it sounds like at the beginning, it's all about the big smile, having with the shoulders back. And if you have yellow teeth, guys, don't do this one. Keep your lips closed, okay? Or get some whitener. All right. Front desk always offers a download, always a check-in. So your front desk, I think, Dr. Camden, more than anything, is really the key to your success. How did you win the front desk game? Because I think that's one of the questions like a lot of our clients have, is saying, how do I get my front desk excited and coached up to like make sure everybody who walks in gets on the app, because they can't sign up for the memberships if they don't have the app.
Yeah, it really is. And my husband, who's sitting next to me here, is the office manager who's at the front desk. And so that helps with that as well. They are incentivized, like Margaret talked about. And so they are incentivized to sell. I'll talk about that in a second. But they're not incentivized to make sure that a patient downloads it. but they're instructed to do this every single time. We're on a strip mall, and people can see our bright windows, and they can see the front desk as they're walking by between Whole Foods and Trader Joe's with lots of sidewalk traffic. They walk in, and you want some good-looking person there with her shoulders back and her teeth white with a big smile, and say, hey, feel free to download our very own rewards app here. It just takes a few seconds and it will give you lots of value immediately. Then she's going to scan it, and she's going to sit in our waiting lounge, not the waiting room. She's going to hang out in the waiting lounge. Hey, feel free to scroll through our services, our memberships, and our packages while you're sitting there. That waiting area does not have magazines. It does not have brochures. It has her and our app there scrolling through our services.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a great way to engage them, right? Let's just, put them all up on screen for us, Phil, so we can take a look at them while we're going through these. So I love this. This is kind of what we talked about earlier, right? You don't give them an option. You say, hey, look, this is $99 monthly, and you don't pay anything when you come in. So it's just setting them up like, hey, let's get the things you want treated, and you don't have to spend the money take out your credit card every time, right?
I won't even go over the non-membership pricing.
Fantastic. So I like that. That leads to point number 3. Existing patients can join memberships before seeing a provider. So I can theoretically find you online, join the app, and sign up for a membership before you even step foot in the building, or?
That's true, Chris, but I guess my point is, that's wonderful. But my point in saying that is that the existing patients who's coming back for her talks follow-up, who maybe hasn't been in for 6 months prior to our development of the memberships, can be sold a membership by the front desk staff. The front desk staff is not allowed to prescribe a treatment. She's not even allowed to recommend a treatment, really, because she doesn't have a medical license. Right. However, if that front desk staff sees, oh, this has been a regular tox patient while she's here, I know it's already been prescribed for her. Hey, Miss Linda, before you even get in front of Dr. Camden today, why don't you go ahead and join this awesome membership? And I'll be so glad to go over with you how you're going to save a ton today with awesome value. And then the front desk person can have her join the membership before she even gets in front of me.
Brilliant. I love that. That's a great way to do it. And then I love this one, right? Just showing them how much money they're going to save today by joining the membership. Yeah.
So if I need to, I'll go over how much they're going to save. But for the most part, I don't even give them the option. I said, you're going to join this awesome membership for just $20 a month. And that's going to get you locked into our $8 a unit toxin program. And I hear you, Margaret, that your tox prices are much more in your area. Toxin is what gets them in the door. From there, everything else is an upsell for us. And so if I can keep them coming back for the $8 a unit and then sell them on an $800 syringe every time she's in, I'd rather do that and say, hey, you're going to be locked into this $8 a unit pricing. Yeah. Oh, you're getting 50 units today alone. That's going to save you $150 off our normal price of $11 a unit.
Yeah, no, and I love that, because that's immediate value, and that's selling them right then and there, the why. And I have joined many memberships because of your point number 4, as I immediately realized, oh, if I join this Macy's program, I'm going to save $150 or $200. Well, of course I want to, and I'm joined, and now I'm here, right? And number 5, I wanted to bring to the forefront, because really, when we talked and when you were launching your membership program, which was at the aesthetic show, it's like a month after the aesthetic show, we were talking in person, this was your why. You really had a why of like, look, I'm going to transition my business. I'm going to build my enterprise value. I just wanted you to really talk about your why, and why launching memberships, and why it's a non-negotiable for you, and the success that you've had.
Yeah, for every practice owner out there, sometime in the next 2 to 20 years, you're going to want to sell your business. If you've got a list of 4,000 email addresses, your practice has 0 value. If you've got a list of 4,000 members, your practice now has a $5 million value. It's a big difference.
Yeah. And so that's the motivation there. So So
it's a good motivation.
Secret to her success. The key to selling memberships is a coordinated sales process every step of the way, right? Every step of the way, Dr. Camden has a focus of selling memberships. And so just real quickly, Dr. Camden, if I was a patient walking into the door, what is the experience that I'm going to have? Not on what I'm going to purchase, but the membership experience. At what points of the upsell, or when are we talking about the memberships?
You're going to be greeted by a big smile with white teeth and asked to scan that awesome big QR code that's right there on our front desk. Then you're going to sit down and scroll through all of our memberships and become familiar with them already before you even get in front of me or one of my nurse practitioners. At that point, you're going to sit down and I'm going to go over that with you without even talking about the other non-membership pricing. On your way out the door, we're going to tell Chris at your checkout, Miss Linda here is going to join the Lipogon membership to come in for her weekly MIC-B12 injections. She's going to start the 365. We're going to start with some body sculpt on the abs, and from there add some radiofrequency microneedling and parts A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we're all set. We'll see you back in 2 months.
It is no surprise why you're crushing it.
Hey guys, like here's the magic. Like everybody on this call can do exactly what Dr. Camden did. This is not magic. This is just what intentional goal setting and application looks like, and everybody has the ability to do it. And RepeatMD is just a tool to enable it to make that process all the smoother. So let's keep going here, Philip. I want to stay on track. I want to stay on target for time. Phil, why don't you take it over and introduce Michelle Bauer for us here?
Yeah, absolutely. A Texas native here, right? We're in Houston. She's in Corpus Christi. I had the pleasure of meeting her here in person at our corporate HQ just last week. And so, yeah, Michelle, she's launched her membership program just recently, 25 days ago. She's already generated over $100,000 of annual recurring top line revenue, $18,000 a month of monthly recurring revenue. So she's crushing it, right? She's absolutely crushing it. And she also holds the title of the single biggest purchase on the marketplace. So, you know, not only she's selling memberships, but she had a patient buy the biggest package we've ever seen through the marketplace. And so
18 days ago, she launched.
Yeah. So I think we're in 25 days. So 18 days when we created this slideshow, but she's crushing it. And so I'm super happy to get to talk with her today. So her membership's gold, silver, platinum, and we've had a few questions. Are you guys going to send the slides? Absolutely. And so, Michelle, just when you were creating your gold, silver, and platinum, how were you coming up with the price points? How were you coming up with the sort of treatments? What led you into these sort of price points and the variability of the treatments that you have?
Well, we're like everyone else. We're trying to find our way, right? And so it's a hit and miss sometimes, but we had a prior membership plan that was modeled on a beauty bank. And so people could save money as they went. And so we decided to make our simplest plan still in that category, because we do have a lot of clients that may not come to us on a monthly basis, but they want the option to be able to save money as they go.
And that's your gold membership, just to be clear, everyone. Her gold membership at $98 a month is a beauty bank. Is that correct?
Right. Right. And then they can apply that to whatever they want. Right. And then we decided to change that in the silver and platinum and add something for both those that like injections and those that like skin treatments. And so basically that's what we were trying to target, was those two populations. And
awesome.
then we had the problem of that some people don't like injections. They really don't want to do that, right? And so we decided to do an or of the injections and created a massage package for those people that would prefer a massage instead of injections. So that's sort of how we came to our memberships.
In some months, I guess you need a massage and you don't need your Botox, right? So it keeps me coming back no matter what. If my Botox is good, my massage always needed, right?
Right.
Yeah, and
we always want a reason, right? Always want a reason to get them back in the door.
We'll unpack that here when it comes to one of what your secret here with this membership benefit with the Botox versus the massage and how you unlock that. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But tips for success, right? When we were talking and had the conversation, I thought it was brilliant that you really thought through the why. Right? You could launch anything, you could do anything every day. You're rethinking like, hey, should I redo the website? Should I do Google ads? Should I buy this new device? You were very thoughtful in why do I want to launch memberships? And not only were you thoughtful for your why, you asked yourself and you asked the staff, why would my staff want to sell this? And why would a client want to buy this? I think oftentimes that's so overlooked of saying, hey, I'm creating this membership program, but why would my staff want to sell this? And why would my patient or my client even want to buy this in the first place? And so can you kind of walk through the why your staff in creating these sort of memberships and why clients would want to buy this?
Well, I had to ask myself, why would my staff be interested in doing this? What's the benefit to them? Because it has to benefit everybody to really work. Right. And so if they know that they have a client coming back every month, for something, they would be much more interested in selling it as opposed to not really seeing it make a difference in their bottom line. Right. So that would be one reason why it would be important for them to really talk about the membership. I love these other incentives that you all had talked about previously. And we just thought, why does a client want to come to us anyway? And why should they come to us and not our competitors down the street? And so we just wanted to think through all of those specialty items that we could talk about to them when they come to us.
Absolutely. And point number 2, patient retention. When you and I had the conversation, you said, look, memberships are that's my retention strategy. So how's that been working for you?
Yeah, that's what we loved about RepeatMD was that it was something that built in all of these incentives in an automated fashion, right? We didn't have to think about it or figure it out or program it. That's what we needed. I mean, who has time for that? And so we want to keep our people. We want to keep them close to us. We want to keep them frequently with us. And so that was the main reason to sign up with RepeatMD.
Awesome. Thank you. So, and Beauty Bank, right? We talked a little bit about this. Not every client can come in monthly, right? But they can put money away from self-care every month. So how impactful has been a beauty bank? It's been one of the topics that a lot of clients have asked about, beauty banks and so forth. How has that been selling in your practice, and what's been the feedback?
Yeah, it sells great. It sells awesome. It's the thing that walks out the door. I mean, today we had 5 people sign up for it, and then a couple of packages sold. So, I mean, it's just really a no-brainer.
Yep. And then train staff to bring up memberships at every point of contact, mentioning how maintenance is a commitment. You want to unpack that?
Yeah, I mean, we just thought through in a very strategic manner how when the person walks into our spa, from the moment they come to the front desk, the moment they go into the back with their provider, to the moment they come back out for checkout, that each one of those steps is an opportunity for them to hear about membership. Have you thought about this? Have you seen this? Do you know about this? This is a real amazing value for you. You're not going to want to miss out on this. And so intentionality, right?
Yeah, and that's brilliant. And so I want to bring that piece up. Actually mapping out the patient journey for your practice, right, is what both you and Dr. Camden are really talking about. Is you've kind of mapped out, whether it's mentally or whether it's on a paper, that patient journey of saying, hey, what different points do we want to make an impact with this membership conversation? And so I would recommend everyone, if you want to really sell memberships meaningfully, to map out that patient journey. Like, when do you want to talk about it? How do you want to talk about it? What are the words? Like Dr. Camden has a script ready, right? Michelle, I'm sure you also have trained a script in how you talk about these things.
Yeah, we're always talking about language. We're always talking about the choreography piece. What can you be saying and how can you be saying it? I mean, it's development, right? You want to continually develop your staff, continually develop your people, really not just in the context of what a membership is, but how they can share it. How they can grow personally, right? How can they develop themselves personally to sell better?
Absolutely. And so that leads us into the secret to your success. What I thought was brilliant with our conversation was this power of the sign-up bonus. So each platinum member, if they sign up, they're going to get that either 200 units of Botox, 2 syringes of filler, or 6 or 8 60-minute massages, right?
Wow.
So not only, and this is something that she added to the program, and keep in mind, folks, like with RepeatMD, the memberships that you want to create, you can create them however it is that you want. Sign up bonuses. Do you want treatments? Do you want toxin? Do you want beauty bank? Whatever it is, the world's your oyster. But what I thought here that was so interesting was that compelling sign up bonus that you launched for your platinum, your highest tier membership, where, hey, you sign up for the membership. This is also something that you're going to get if you sign up today. How did you come up with that, and how's that been working?
Yeah, well, the same day sign up feature, giving them one more carrot to consider if they make their decision today. We thought that was critical in helping people over that hump of making a decision, or, I have to go back and talk to my husband or my wife or my friend or whoever, just giving people another reason to come to their decision. We thought that was important.
This is a very powerful, I look at it like this, folks. If you go into Barnes and Nobles and you're about to check out and they say, hey, look, we'll buy one of your books today if you sign up for our program, and the program's, $20 a month, like that makes it an irresistible offer. It's very compelling. So like, if you want to be very aggressive with selling memberships and get to, $15, $20, $25,000 quickly, now I understand, Michelle, why you've had such success in a short period of time, because you've given an overpowering offer that people can't refuse. So fantastic. Great job.
And so And two pieces of that, right, Chris, is you can add commitments to your memberships, right? So
She
you
has
can
a
add
12-month commitment.
You can add a 3 month, you can add 6 months, you can add 12 months. Also, with these sort of things, you can space out when they get them. Again, the flexibility here with RepeatMD is key. We will build the membership program the way that is important to you. And I think why it all ties back to her. If I was a patient, why would I sign up?
Yeah.
That's the ethos of how she even came up with this sign-up bonus. Is she said, well, if I was interested and I was leaving and you told me, hey, by the way, if you sign up today, this is what I'd be willing to do, that sign-up bonus. She answered that why, and now she's got extraordinary success. And it would be no surprise if she's doing a few $100,000 of MRR in the next 6 months with her membership program, because she's selling, her velocity is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing.
Key takeaway, note to write down: if you wouldn't buy it, your patient wouldn't buy it.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Chris, let's introduce Dr.
Yeah,
Holcomb.
last but not least, we have Dr. Kate Holcomb out of New Orleans. Not a big fan of LSU. We can add that to the next presentation there, Philip. All Tulane all day. She's the owner of Pure Dermatology down in New Orleans. Launched her marketplace on the 24th, crushing it with $412,000 in annual revenue. And she and her team are the big winners of the Cancun trip we gave away, our first inaugural trip. They sold the most in the first 3 months of launch, and we're sending her and 10 members of our team down to Cancun, and we promised that we wouldn't be there on the same dates. That was the only way she agreed to take the trip. So Dr. Holcomb, let's take a look at your memberships and talk about really the secret formula. So one thing you'll see here is that all of these memberships are different. Like, everybody's are different. So if you have a question like, oh, can I do this? Can I bank? Like, the answer is we will design them and create them with whatever your model is. But I love the Skin Fit Silver here. Even the name, they put a lot of intentionality in the name. We'll talk about that in a second. But this is their brand. This is their memberships. They really own it. And Dr. Holcomb has decided that she wanted to make a membership that they could never get all the memberships if they had a membership for 20 years. And that's why she's included so many treatments and services. And so Dr. Holcomb, like, let me ask you, like, when I look at the Pure Skin Fit Platinum, just start there. And also I'll tell you guys, that's her #1 seller, right? You don't have to go cheap to sell a lot of these. Her most expensive is her #1 seller, but take a look at it. Look at how many treatments are. I think that's like 15 treatments they can choose from every month. Dr. Holcomb, am I correct in thinking that part of that is to make sure that they don't get burnt out and feel stale? So it's like, oh, I've got the same thing over and over. Now they have, like, man, they're going to be with it for a long time if they want to make it through all those treatments, right?
We'll get you on to unmute 1 second.
Some of the things on that list were actually chosen to almost like cross-advertise, right? So I think Dr. Camden said earlier, and I was a little surprised that she said initially she was more face and then has really transitioned to body, but for us, we're dermatologists. So we're highly focused on the face and neck, but we do have body sculpting. And so some of our body sculpting is included on there because we wanted to be able to cross talk about it with patients, right? So if they're a member and they're in the app and they're only getting, face treatments, well, then they're like, well, what is Flex?
Mm-hmm.
And for us, our Flex, it requires 6 treatments on the front end, but then the maintenance you can do either once a month or you can do it every 3 months. But it also gives people who are kind of curious, just like a little taste of it without, breaking the $3,000 bank to just get the full treatment. So part of them were chosen for that. The other reason is that we offer so many treatments that are fairly similar in price. And sometimes for patients, they just get a little bit, they're like, they want to try something, but they already know another procedure works well for them. So it was, it was sort of a way for our committed followers to even be showing up more frequently and trying things that, they were interested in, but maybe were just a little bit afraid to skip over from something that they already, really liked. The other thing is that we created the platinum because we have a lot of competition in our market and lots of memberships. And we had our own memberships that didn't work as well. And I think you'll hear this as a theme. It sounded like at least 3 out of 4 of us or 4 out of 5 of us had tried some other membership version in the past and it didn't go as well. So we kind of packed in all the things we wanted for a premium membership, but priced it so that they're not really actually saving that much, but they feel like they are.
Let me ask you this, just to piggyback on the past membership. What happened in the past membership where it didn't work out, and the difference that RepeatMD has made to make it work out this time, if you could answer?
It's threefold. So our initial membership was more like you bought a membership card for the year, and then that gave you access to certain things, more like what the benefits were. And then you got like 1 or 2 freebies. That still didn't really bring people into the office, you know, and you guys showed that you showed those statistics, like people spend, you know, 44% more if they're coming in more regularly. So for us, we knew the data on it. We just couldn't figure out how to get them in every single month. And the other was just organizationally. I mean, having the app has really made it so much easier, both to, or RepeatMD, to collect, to show when a patient has used their membership service. And so for us, it was kind of timed right. You know, we were ready to do something different, and we just needed to kind of the push to do it.
Awesome.
And
Appreciate that.
we love a little competition. So
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
apparently.
It's everybody loves a competition that they're winning. I tell you what. So I would love it too. So let's talk about y'all's trips. I see trips. I got trip on the tip of my tongue there.
Trips. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can
Yeah,
talk.
so
We'll talk
what
about your
we
trip
wanted
on the
to-
next one.
So yeah, what we wanted to focus on with you, because we had operationally all the different pieces, but you really went in on this piece, and it really ties into what your secret of success is, just to kind of unlock, like, hey, launch party, your email, social, prominent signs, buttons, and shirt, constant communication with the patients. Like, let's start with the launch party. What does that look like?
Sure. So actually, let me just make this point. We had RepeatMD for a decent amount of time before the memberships were launched, and we used it in our community as a tool to get new emails and contacts. So anytime we did an event, it was like, oh, you got a little freebie, or you could spin the wheel as long as you signed up for our membership. So that already got us more people in our contact system than we had in our, you know, in our patient profiles. And so once we had all those emails, and in addition to our other, or contacts in addition to our others, you know, we just like to have fun. So we wanted to create a little advertising scheme where patients could come and see all the things we offer in the membership. And so all that looked like was, you know, after hours, about an hour and a half, we served alcohol. We had a little, like, actually a local wine purveyor that came and like did wine tasting, so people could walk up and learn about the wine. And people just went from room to room while a patient was being treated with the procedure. And generally they were patients who had done that procedure a number of times and were super happy about it. And so those patients could talk on their experience. So it was super low cost and very, very easy to do. Of course, we advertise it through our normal mechanisms, email, social, through the RepeatMD app with the text messaging, and then, you know, in our own office, we have a before and after running all the time, and so we put current promos in there. And then our staff talked about it all the time.
And you guys had some great brand. You guys had unbelievable branding, and we actually got a slide to show you everything they did for their launch. They got the Skin Fit T-shirt, they got the brochures, they got the buttons, the pins, the QR codes. What is y'all's? Yep.
And what I would
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
So, I mean, all of these are very low cost for us. So for example, you know, the T-shirt obviously is going to be the most expensive. I would say cost of goods on that is like probably $10. And so anybody who got platinum, you got a free shirt. So people were super excited about that. We wore the shirts, you know, every Friday is like our dress, however you want, with jeans, you know, low dress day. And so everybody had those shirts on for like 3 months at a time, every Friday. We took pictures with them. We took pictures of us having fun with them. We took pictures of us exercising with them. I mean, everything. As far as the buttons, the black button is actually what we had when we first had rewards. And so again, it was kind of that talk track, like Dr. Camden talked about, in the waiting room. So for us, not in the waiting room, in the exam room. So for us, we have a little bit of a holdup in the waiting room, but once the patient gets in the back and we're taking their history, it's very easy for the medical assistant to say, oh, by the way, you know, we have our rewards. Scan my button so you can be looking at it while you're waiting for the doctor to come in, or, you know, to join our rewards campaign. And then once the membership launched, it was pretty much the same thing, same QR code. Hey, you're already a member, but you know, we have these memberships in there. You're a great candidate. that money that you when you join today, that money can actually apply to your whatever treatment you're having. See if it's something you're interested. So it makes it so easy. And then the cards, we don't have a lot of, we have no magazines in our waiting room as well. And even in the rooms, we have just a very few amount of advertising cards, and they're really tailored to what each provider is, marketing or what their skill set is. So with that, we have this gorgeous card that's sitting like in front of every single other card. So you come in, probably 25% of the time, someone's already pulled the card and they're like, is that for me? Would that work well? Yeah, it would. Did you already sign up? The QR code's right here. So for us, that was, an easy transition, and we're very visual as dermatologists.
That's awesome. Yeah, let's
the
take a look. Go
The
ahead.
two little pictures you see to the right was actually a passport. So at the event, we had a
I wanted to bring that
passport,
up.
and when you went to every room, you had to get a little stamp. And so then if you got all the stamps, then you got to go to the prize wheel. The other one was on the front of the prize wheel. And then, they win like all the free stuff we get. Like every time we buy a bunch of filler, we get some free beauty product that we're never going to sell. So we just give it away, and people are stoked about their free stuff.
That's
And
fun.
one piece I wanted to add here to everybody that's RepeatMD client, because there's a bunch of you on here, is remember that exclusivity sells. Okay. And so you absolutely need to have a launch party. And guess what? You can still have a launch party even if you've launched, right? But then as you're coming into the holidays, as you're coming into June, next year in June, making membership only events, using text messaging, blasting out through RepeatMD, everybody, we have a members only event, a red carpet members only event for the holidays, or springtime is here.
And at a minimum, rewards members only at a bare minimum.
Well, so here's what I'm saying is, if you have 500 people as part of your entire RepeatMD database, that's rewards members, not just members to your paid membership. We're talking about your database. So if you have 500 patients a part of that database, send out a text message, create, of course, a launch party when you're launching memberships, but create 1 to 2 member only events per year, but let everybody know about it, not just your members. Create FOMO. Make a badass event, use your local wine vendors, have a bartender, red carpet, make an event that people feel like they're going to miss out on. Have your reps that are knocking on the door every time trying to sell you something to come in there and do your treatments, right? Have some treatments, do exactly what Dr. Kate Holcomb's talking about for launch parties, but don't just do a launch party. Do it once or twice a year to keep that fresh, right? We've seen just through exclusivity of high tier memberships, creating these membership events is critical, not only to reduce churn, which churn and membership talk means the amount of people that cancel, reducing the amount of people that cancel, right? But also upselling, creating FOMO for those who have not joined your membership, right? So 1 or 2 events of the year, you've got the holidays coming up, everyone. Why not have an event for the holidays for members only, where they get special pricing, etc. I did want to give you the visual cue here. Can you see my screen? Here's their Instagram, and here's their event, their launch party.
I like that. You guys, that's very nice.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a beautiful event. We saw that, and we were blown away by this, right? You had the hors d'oeuvres, you had the wine, they spun the wheel, give away prizes. Again, you went down to the fundamentals of saying, hey, if we're going to do memberships, we're going to do it right. We're going to make sure our staff is talking about it. Everyone's going to be trained, and we're going to answer that question. That's the most important question is, well, why would a patient want to buy this in the first place? So everyone on this has knocked this out of the park.
So I just want to mention something that Phil said. We're having our holiday event in like 2 weeks. And so we've already said it's like on every single invite, like, platinum members get in at the early time and everyone else gets in like 30 minutes later. And then even our platinum members, we have a separate email that's going to them that says, some of these specials you get all year. So you actually don't have to be compelled to suddenly be, spending as much money as possible, because we're giving that to you. So
that's
to
great.
us, that generates a, hey, you don't want to quit when your membership is up at the end of the year. You're going to keep going and going. And the thing with the free stuff, I mean, we generally, I got this from a colleague who's had a membership for a long time, and they said that they used to give away a lot of free stuff for signing up. And they stopped doing it because what would happen is people would get upset, like, oh, well, someone signed up during this time, but I didn't sign up during that time, so I didn't get the free. So all of our free stuff is really like, it's kind of stuff that we would have already had or given away anyway. We just shuttle it all to the platinum members. So we're really not losing anything. And the t-shirt is free advertising. It's like,
of course.
over,
Yeah, I would want
always.
people repping my brand too.
Yeah, and it has our
Absolutely.
website on the back. So anyway.
Dr. Holcomb, that was fantastic. I think everybody on this call got a lot of value. And guess what else everybody on this call gets? It's
So yeah,
the
so
bundle.
I'll mention this here. Utilizing your brand bundle, right? It's if you don't have a brand bundle yet, right? support@repeatmd.com will get you one. Just email the support line. If you're selling memberships, you're selling through the marketplace, this is always something that RepeatMD provides. It's $1,000 value. We design it, we get your profile, we send it to you. Everyone on this call has their brand bundle. All the panelists have it. They're utilizing it. It's the visual cues that matter. So here, I just wanted to put this out here for anyone. If you're out there and you're like, oh, I didn't get a brand bundle, that's okay. We'll make sure you get taken care of and we get your brand bundle to you. So that's just a really quick mention there.
Yep. And with Q4 here, not everybody can get this, but here's what we're doing in Q4. We sent Dr. Holcomb to Cancun in Q3. Now, well, they haven't gone yet, but she won in Q3. Now our client competition is sending you to Turks and Caicos. So take a look at this. Whoever sells the most total memberships, packages, and treatment plans from October 1st to December 31st, gross volume of sales, we're going to send all-inclusive trip to Turks and Caicos for up to 10 people on the team. So this is fantastic. This is RepeatMD investing back in you guys. This is what really gets us excited. So look, everybody has a chance to win. We did Cancun. Now we're doing Turks and Caicos. And look, it's a fan favorite. You guys love it. As long as y'all continue to come out and crush it, you will probably have a chance to win one of these trips every quarter. But Turks and Caicos is on the line right now. So if you're in the marketplace, let's get at it. Also, we're not going to leave the patients out of it, right? So we're going to help you sell your patients because we're going to do a patient giveaway. The patients have a trip to win a trip to Turks and a chance to win a trip to Turks and Caicos also. So all they have to do is purchase a membership from you or a treatment plan, a package, and they will win an all-inclusive trip to Turks and Caicos Islands, 2 people, them and their +1. So that's on RepeatMD too. So that's us investing back in you. Make sure your patients feel like they, have something in it besides great skin. They're going to want that great skin for Turks and Caicos, right, Phil? So,
Of course.
let's get into the last couple pieces here because of course we ran over. We tried our best, Phil, but look, let's just face it, we can only do so much.
So question is, how do I get started with the marketplace, right? So we're going to put this right now in the chat. We're going to have a unique link that we're going to send. If you have RepeatMD, you want the ability to sell memberships, you want the ability to do sell packages, you want the ability to have Klarna do your financing, there's a link in your chat that will take you specifically to a calendar where you can book your appointment, right? We don't want to leave you out with, hey, okay, I'm ready to get started, right? But I don't know what to do. Look into your chat right now. How do I get started with the marketplace? Use that link. If you want to update your marketplace, if you want to update a membership, if there's a key distinction from today's call that you're like, you know what, I want to add this, I want to do this, I want to make a change, we've put in the link right there. Have a meeting with Jeremy where he can go into your marketplace, how to sell more on your marketplace. And maybe you have a question that you want to ask about, hey, I want to do this, but there's still some pieces that I want to ask. And we are going to have a Q&A here in a second, but that is the link that you're going to use. It's in your chat now as well. How do you update? And of course, if you are a potential client that got this, how do I get RepeatMD? We put into the chat see a demo link, right? Pretty straightforward on that piece. So we're about to do Q&A, but we are over time. So I want to respect those that are ready to jump off. We do have this beautiful Louis Vuitton bag. So
let's take a look at that, baby.
We're going to actually raffle this first. And then for all those who want to,
show us the slide. We got to see the Louis Vuitton slide.
So we're going to hop on here. Louis Vuitton slide. We will give you the gift receipt. So if pink's not your color, you're more black, you're feeling that, then we'll send you the gift receipt. So without further ado, we're going to give away the Louis Vuitton bag. And then we're going to hop back to Q&A for those who want to stay in for the Q&A. So take a look at this. this is going to be important while I pull this up, is how to raise your hand, right? So what happens?
They're all raising their hand.
Don't raise
They're
your hand
already
right
doing
now.
it.
Oh my God.
I knew this was going to fail. Backfire.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to raffle this, but you have to be present to win. If we do call your name, we're going to give you about 20 seconds to raise your hand and comment in caps in the chat, or excuse me, it won't be in the chat. Is the chat disabled?
Raise your hand if
Yes,
you
chat,
win.
yes, chat is disabled currently.
So is his
Okay.
voice box, apparently.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is raise your hand if you win, right? We're going to give you about 20 seconds to do that. So here we go. The
Oh,
Louis
baby.
Vuitton raffle.
Look at that branded wheel.
Oh,
Don't stare directly at the R. It will hypnotize you.
yeah. All right, Sarah Dan.
Let's
We're
see
gonna-
that hand, Sarah.
So Jeff, let me know if you see the hand, if she's on the call. Going to give it
But
about 20
what if
seconds.
what if her Zoom name isn't the same as her real name, or is these based off of Zoom names? My God, we
These are based off of Zoom names here.
got Nicole Rogers, Aaliyah. People are just raising their hands left and right here.
And we do have a search feature here. So looks like we're going to respin the wheel that Sarah is not present. So
Nope.
here we
Spin
go.
it again. I like the
What's-
search feature. That's
What's
smart.
nice is the search feature. We've never had that
Yeah,
before.
that's a great idea.
All right. Tracy.
Tracy,
It looks like we're going to continue.
No, Tracy is here. She should be able to talk.
Tracy's. I got
I don't know
Tracy.
if the name is spelt wrong, but I'm Tracy Lenhart.
It's a different Tracy. We got Tracy Linhart. Is it a different Tracy? Can we confirm? It's a different Tracy. Tracy with
Yeah.
a Y. All right, rip it again. Sorry, Tracy. That's a false Tracy. I mean, somebody's about to win this bag. We need a little bag of music. Joanne Hawkins. That sounds like a name of somebody who's here. I got a Joanne Evans on here. I can't search. I didn't find a Hawkinson on my search.
My God. There's
Spin it again.
We keep on spinning here.
Joanne, if you are there and there's some pseudonym, you better speak up before the wheel lands.
And
Search results are not yielding a positive on this one, Philip.
well, when you have as many people register as we had.
Keep spinning, baby. Just keep ripping it. Somebody is going to speak up. We're gonna go macro spins. Let's go. The crowd is antsy. I can tell it. The mics are muted, but I can feel it underneath the microphone. Tara, where are you at, Tara? I got 3 Taras on this call, but none of them are Tara Parnell. How is that possible? Keep going, baby. Let's go again. We're gonna get one. How many people we have on this wheel? My God, there's like 1,000 names on this wheel.
Oh yeah.
If you're you gotta love it. If you're on the call right now, every time they don't answer, you gotta love it. You're like, oh yes, spin it again. Stacy. I got Stacy Burmeister. I don't have Stacy Alston. Whew. Sweet Stacy. All these people.
Jeez Louise, I've never seen anything like this before.
Make sure we're sending these people messages, letting them know they just missed out on a Louis Vuitton bag. This is we might have a record. How many spins are we at here? Natasha. Oh, I know Dr. Natasha Sandy. She's not here though. She's gone. Oh man, I can't wait to tell James about that.
We're going to keep spinning this, baby. My goodness. So
Might be here
typically we have
after the
only
game
people that are
starts.
live. This time we put in all of the registrants. We will not do that twice.
Yep. Well, that's a lesson learned. Well, D Horning, she's on the call now. D, raise the hand.
Yeah.
Sweet
My
D.
God.
D, it's your lucky day. D, write a thank you letter to all those people for not being here today because they just won you a Louis Vuitton bag.
All right,
oh my gosh. Thank you. This is awesome. I'm so excited.
We're excited for you.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Congratulations.
It took 8 spins, but it landed to destiny. It landed right
Dee,
to you.
quick
It's like
question.
early Christmas present.
Have you all the webinars you've ever been on, you ever won a Louis Vuitton bag on one of them?
Never.
All right. Then you probably won't again, Dee, but you did this time and that's what matters. Thank you.
Awesome. I have a meeting with you guys on Thursday. I'm looking forward to talking with you.
Awesome. Looking
Awesome,
forward
Dee.
to it, Dee.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So if you
there we go.
were just
Thanks
here,
for sticking through that.
if you were just here for the bag, you can hop off. But we had a ton of questions come in. So let's hash out some of these questions here, Phil. We just want to take them from the open questions here in the Q&A.
Yeah. So Sam, go ahead and feed us a question and then we'll answer it.
Perfect. Let's just start from the top then. The first question is, are they able to roll over their memberships, and what is included when they roll over?
Yeah, so that's really, again, a lot of this is customized, right, in order to what you want to do. So let's start. Margaret, what is your take on rolling over?
I was answering some of the chats. Yeah, we allow rollover, and what we're conditioning our staff to say, if someone comes in with 3 tokens, I mean, we're still kind of new, but we're anticipating that. If someone comes in and says, I haven't been here in 3 months, we're like, great. You can combine your 3 tokens towards a syringe of Juvederm Ultra, or you can combine your 3 tokens towards a Moxie or whatever premium service. Let's use them up. Let's try something you wouldn't ordinarily try. Let's get a premium service under your belt and really do something exceptional for your skin or body, whatever the case may be.
Absolutely.
Right.
And Michelle, what's your thought on rollover for treatments?
Yeah,
Or
we decided not to do rollovers. We're trying to make people come in, during their time that they have their membership. So we just elected not to do rollovers.
Yeah,
so rollover
I
being
think
if I don't use a treatment in January, I can't use that treatment in February. Is that accurate?
Right.
But on your beauty bank, that is a rollover program, correct?
Yes.
Where they can use it because kind of their savings account, correct?
Right.
Can I have a beauty bank and apply the membership?
I suppose you could. I don't know. We've never had that question before, but I don't know.
The functionality is there where they could buy 2 if they would want to.
They could. We'd have to figure out that commingle piece, but I'm sure they could. Yes. I always say yes first, figure it out later, right?
Yeah,
So-
when people offer you money, that's typically good advice.
Yeah.
And Dr. Camden, what is your thought on sort of rolling over? We'll get you to unmute here in a second.
Sorry, I was muted. We don't have any kind of beauty bank program, but we do, for example, have that $99 per month Lipogon program, which includes a weekly MIC B12 injection. We decided not to have them banked and rather make it like a gym membership and tell the patient, just like your fitness membership, if you don't go to the gym for 3 months, you don't get 3 months added on at the end. We say that with a smile and a whole lot more nicely, but it just doesn't make sense. We want you to come back so you can continue to get the benefits out of this program.
Great. Awesome. Let's go on to the next question,
Oh,
Sam.
well, let me get Dr. Kate Holcomb on this one, because this one we see such a variety on.
Okay.
And Dr. Kate Holcomb, what are you doing on yours?
We bank only at the highest tier.
Okay, so that's another benefit, right? So again, these memberships, you have to figure out what's right for you. One of the questions that we had as far as these memberships, a lot of you were mentioning like it took you some time to get it just right. And so I just wanted to mention that the just right now this was prior, where now they figured out what is right. And now when they launch this, they have the ability to actually sell what's been working. So you are getting the top tier of the people that are selling the most, or the patients buying the most. So if you're looking for a guide on what kind of memberships to create to you, that's why this webinar, and we'll send you the slides there so you can have some ideas. Sam, what's the next question?
So our next question is, how do you incentivize your staff for when they sell a membership?
Yeah, so Dr. Camden, are you incentivizing the staff?
We are for the top 2 tiers of memberships. We have a $50 bonus to the staff member who sells that. For the lowest tier membership, it's a $20 bonus to the employee who sells that.
Got it.
Right.
And Michelle, what are you doing?
All of our staff is in the run for a Gucci bag.
Oh,
at the
baby.
end of the quarter. So the one
Awesome.
that sells the most.
Contest. Love it. So we got one just a spiff. We got one that's a contest. I want to hear the answer to all of these. Dr. Holcomb, you have any kind of program going for the team?
So we're more team-based and we do goals based on everyone working together to reach the goals. I mean, the Cancun trip was kind of the first.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah,
that's an awesome one.
There you go.
We have different goals for quarter four is like a very busy time of year anyway. So we have kind of a dollar amount goal. Probably quarter one where it's a little slower, you know, that's maybe where we look for like we got to sell this many memberships.
Yep. Love the team base. So that's always a great lift, you know, all ships raise with the tide. So yeah.
And so and then who else? Margaret, what are you doing for that?
For which part? I'm sorry. I was reading someone's question. I was trying to answer someone's question.
So we appreciate that. As far as incentivizing the team in any way when it comes to selling memberships, are you doing any kind of spiff or bonus or anything for the team whenever they sell memberships?
I mean, we do the $50. And,
Yeah, $50. That's right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it. Perfect. Okay. Cool. Let's get a couple more questions in there.
Yeah. So Sam, when
yep.
we're choosing these questions, these first two have been great. Let's do two more of where each panelist can answer their version of it.
Perfect. This question is from someone who says they're a brand new business. They have a soft launch party on the 11th and their first client's coming on the 15th. What are your best tips on selling memberships at your first launch party?
Let's start with you, Dr. Kate Holcomb. I think that's directed towards you.
Did you say me?
Dr. Holcomb.
No, I think it was me. I'm sorry. I'm muted instead of unmuted. We had a lot of lead up to the launch party. So, you know, we were talking about it for a good 2 months before the launch party actually happened. And we probably sold the majority not on that night. But then the after of that night are that people say like, well, I couldn't come, but you know, am I right for that membership? And then that lasted for even another 2 months. So, I mean, we used it more as a marketing technique, and whether or not, you know, we sold on that day didn't really matter to us.
And let me almost jump in for Dr. Camden here and I'll let you answer. But one thing I've seen you do really well is you actually use the app and you send out text blasts to your rewards members to get them primed up for the event. So you're actually using RepeatMD to get people to the event to sell them, right? That's you too, Dr. Holcomb?
Yep. That text messaging is so great because people have self-selected that they want to know about your stuff. Before, like we probably have a database already of 10,000 and a third of those people, or maybe not a third, about 20 to 25% opt out of the marketing emails. So then this further allows for like a subgroup of people who really want to know about your specials. So we have kind of two different, you know, groups, although they overlap, you know, people that are really excited, and then another group of people who they're getting our emails anyway. So the texts really add another layer of marketing.
Right.
And Dr. Camden, you use text really effectively as well.
We do. We never had a launch party, but we have had lots of events. So I would add to that and added value for bringing a friend.
Added value for bringing a friend. That's a great one. Write that one down. That is a stone cold winner. Yep. Okay,
Sam, let's get one more question in as we're coming out this last 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was 90 minutes was what we scheduled, right? So we're right on time.
The last question actually does relate. Someone asked, how often are you using text blasts through the app about your memberships?
So yeah, so Dr. Camden, we'll just get that. We'll get one more, Sam, because we addressed this a little bit, but Dr. Camden, how often do you use text messaging?
Yeah,
on the platform?
We like to use it a lot, and Amber's been great at kind of advising kind of brief blasts and when to do that. Don't do it more than once a week. It's just annoying spam if it's more than that. So weekly,
we all agree to that.
Weekly is good, daily is terrible. So somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. We advise a RepeatMD no more than once a week.
I'll give one caveat to that. Well, no more than once a week. Typically, if it's just like, you know, like just updates on promos, maybe even twice a month. What you want to do though, if you're having a big event, Phil, I know you're a big proponent of this.
Yeah.
Day before the event, week before the event, and day of the event. That's the only time you'd stack your text is when you have the event, because people oftentimes the day before, what do I got to do tomorrow? Oh, the text, or the day of, like, oh yeah, I remember. Oh, they got the event. Let's go tonight. Like, so that's when you'd want to do like additional text if it's around an event.
100%. People can't go to the party that they're not invited to, right? So letting people know and the morning of is a super important text to send out for any event. Sam, let's get one more in there.
Perfect. One more we have. Do you allow members to give away their membership treatment that month? If it's a token?
Oh, that's a great question. So Margaret, let's have you answer that one.
We do not, because we do allow the family membership. So that's one of the things we thought through. We said, if it's on your phone, you redeem it so we can track it, because we've had problems in the past with people buying like a package of 10 microderms and then, oh, I want to give one to my husband this month and then it's a little bit of a bookkeeping nightmare when they come 6 months later and say, oh no, you owe me whatever. So if it's on your phone, it's for you, but the family member can just pay the same rate.
Yeah, they'll
do
get the
treatment.
10% off or whatever it is.
Right.
Anyone else have a different take on that as a panelist, as far as a member, if I have a treatment that I'm not using, or we're all in agreement with Margaret on this one?
Yeah, it's an accounting nightmare. It's too complicated.
Yeah.
That was a great question. Great way to end it. Thank you all for being a part of this. Thank you to our amazing panelists. You guys are rock stars. And we look forward to many more conversations on how to be successful together here with RepeatMD in your practice. Thank you all.
And if you guys think this added a lot of value to you, reach out to us and let us know, because we want to put more of these together for, all of our RepeatMD family and team. So yeah, thank you all and have a great evening.
Thanks.
And go Stros!
Panelists.
Okay.